So, fellas, we have here Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore, this is the country. Burkina Faso, we've spoken about him many times. Great man of Africa, trying his best to fix things. Unlike most African presidents, this one is very different. He came into power and immediately said, well, I don't want a salary as a president. Give me a salary as a soldier. Because I'm a captain, I want you to pay me as a captain. I do not want you to pay me as a president. Let me just bring it to you guys. The majority of presidents in Africa are millionaires in dollars, if not billionaires, at least tens of millions of dollars. They are very rich. And unfortunately, in Africa, presidency is very similar to kingdom. Yeah, it's the mentality of African people, making the president or turning him into a king. He can do anything. He can choose anything and nobody's going to hold him accountable. Now, this man who's 36 years old today is doing tremendous work. And now this was a speech that he made encouraging people from his country not to run away from the country, to stay in Burkina Faso. We're talking about talent, clever people, intelligent people, smart people, engineers, developers, to stay in a country and not try to thrive going overseas or going to Europe, looking for better opportunities. Because a lot of good Africans, a lot of good workers will leave Africa looking for opportunities. Let's just listen to him quickly. Let's go.
That is why I would urge you to go all out so that we can establish these elite schools, so that these talented individuals do not end up going abroad. Because for a long time, imperialists have always drawn talent from here through scholarships. Once they are home, they do not return to the country. I do not want these brains that are here to end up abroad and not serve our country. Make sure that these initiatives succeed and that we can establish the polytechnic and technological universities we need so that these children can express all their talents and work for the benefit of our homeland. It is almost like another...
So this is very clear, okay? It's a very short clip, but he's speaking to the people that are in charge of development in the country, telling them to do their work, make sure that these kids here, have everything they need so they can establish themselves and develop the country in Burkina Faso and not thrive to get opportunities in the US, go to the UK. No, I don't think they go to the US or UK. They probably go to France. Africans have this thing, like each African country look to go to their colonizer. Have you noticed that? Yeah. You look at Nigerians, all Nigerians want to go to London. Like, if you see a Nigerian that, where you come from? I'm from London. They all want to go to London. Ugandans want to go to London. Kenyans want to go to London. Many other Africans that were colonized by English will want to go to London. Now you look at the French side. Yes, because France also colonized Africa. You look at Cote d'Ivoire, they all want to go to France. Cameroon all want to go to France. Gabon want to go to France. Senegal, Guinea, all these countries, they want to go to France. Like if you give them an opportunity, say you want to travel abroad, go discover things, if he's never traveled before, the first thing you tell you, I want to go to London for a Nigerian or Ugandan or Kenyan, and for Cote d'Ivoire and all these other countries, Senegal, will say they want to go to France. It's crazy. Is that the syndrome of what do you call that thing? Swedish syndrome or something? Like the person that beat you up really bad or beat your ancestors back quite a lot. You just want to go to where even look at Angola. This is Angola on a map. All Angolans that are successful have been to Portugal, Lisboa. I don't get it. It's like, it's crazy. That's all. I'm going to Lisbon. I'm going to Lisboa. It's insane. So a lot of Africans leave Africa, going to Europe looking for opportunities. Month back, I remember we made a report about some Nigerian doctors that went to the UK looking for opportunities, and they were overworked apparently, and underpaid. Well, of course, because they're Africans.
The fourth floor of there. Yeah, you can see the windows open. So there's a doctor up there, and right now I'm doing the same job I was doing. I still feel anxious because, I can't explain what it means, like just being confined to this place for 7 days, 24/7. Every day I work in this hospital, I always thought that something could go wrong.
Same as Zimbabweans on earth. a lot of nurses of Zimbabwe go to Europe looking for opportunities.
Love is very hard, so as I have a family to feed and my salary is not very well, so I think living is the best answer.
Now, it's good to keep people in your country, because you want them to develop the country, to have plans, to have ideas, because the continent needs smart people, because we're just bleeding out all the smart people. That's why the continent is not moving forward. The majority of people are just they're going forever. And once they get a life, they get a permit, they don't want to come back. Even when they get a refugee status, they don't want to come back. Some people even go just to visit on a tourism visa. They never come back. See, unfortunately, you will see some people go on a church campaign, like on a church promotion, church events. They never come back. Dudes, you went for church. I thought you were a man of God. You went for church in the States. Then you lied and never came back. And you knew you were going to stay. You didn't tell the truth. Then you expect people in America to believe that you love God. Stop lying to people. Now, how do you get them to stay? You need to give them good jobs, number one. Find them jobs. In order for people to stay in a country, intelligentsia, people capable of working to cybersecurity, protection, engineering, you need to give them jobs. That's number one. Number two, you need to give them good pay. They have to have a decent salary. I mean, you see in Kenya, for instance, a lot of women, Kenya and Uganda, they will go to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, looking for jobs as cleaners, as helpers, And some of these women, unfortunately, Ethiopians as well, they go to Lebanon and some of these countries where apparently they get paid. They get paid. And the salary apparently in Saudi Arabia of a cleaner is better than the salary of a doctor in Kenya. I mean, I'm talking about a public doctor working for the state. Because doctors in Kenya were very angry, because of their salary that wasn't adequate. They didn't like it. They wanted a raise. And the government was very hard on them. Said, dude, you better go back to your job. If you don't go back to your job, we're getting somebody else to replace you. And many of these doctors were replaced. They just wanted a little bit of a raise, get their family to get treated at the hospitals with no expenses. Like my family, me as a doctor, if I have a family member, my children or my wife want to come to the hospital to get treated, they can get treated for free. They refused them that. And people were very angry. They marched in the street for a long time, So you need to provide Africans with jobs. They need to be incentivized to stay. Just in the same way you get Europeans who come to Africa as contractors to work in engineering businesses and stuff like that. You need to incentivize these people. You need to give them opportunities to go and learn elsewhere and come back. So you want these people, if they need training, perhaps to go to Dubai or go to America, wherever, they get training and come back. I mean, when somebody knows that I don't have to run away, I just need to stay here and work hard, they're probably going to send me somewhere, go do training and come back. Because a lot of people go to Europe and America out of curiosity because they believe America and Europe, this is what was lied to you, they are better places to be. There's much better life, things are much easier. And a lot of people don't really want to stay, they just want to go out of curiosity. But the bottom line is, once they go, you can't really come back, because then you have to report on why you came back. A lot of Africans expect you, by the time you come back, you need to have some money. Like, do you have money? We sold the land or the compound for you to go overseas. Why did you come back with no money? So there's a moral debt that you have. So these people need good salary. They need good infrastructure. They need development. They need opportunities to travel and come back. The majority of Africans who travel and come back to the country, I mean, let me put it this way. Let me be frank. South Africans do travel abroad, but most of them don't stay. Apart from the big chunk of white South Africa that left South Africa because they felt like the black government with the ANC was going to destroy everything. They were going to be the minority. They were going to feel the pain of being the minority. A lot of whites, South Africans left the country, going to Australia, going to New Zealand, going to Canada, in most cases, going to Britain for some of them. Why? Because South Africa has everything they need. South Africa has provided them with good jobs, good opportunities, like everything they need. You can have a nice house, the bank can finance you. If you don't have cash, they're going to finance you for 30 years. And the house, provided that you pay, you're honest, you're being financed. The majority of Africans don't have that. In South Africa, they've created a platform where people can get jobs, they can travel, you know what I mean? It's easy to keep people in the country. You know, even though I believe a lot of South Africans can do much better, especially black people, into enriching the knowledge, actually getting to the level of the former colonizers in terms of intelligentsia, learning the craft, knowing what they know, everything. Yes, there are some that know, but I think the majority of people, or a great number of people, can do much better. I know there are some countries in East Africa, I don't want to name countries, that send their children in different countries. They will send university students to America to go learn cybersecurity, to go learn how to defend infrastructure, you know, learn the craft. I know Uganda sent students to go learn petroleum because the country has so much petrol or oil, if you prefer, crude oil. And Uganda did not want to, you know, put all the eggs into somebody else's morals. They didn't want to say, okay, let's import people to come and fix the country. Let's import people to come and find the oil, for us. You know, if you're finding somebody from another country who's going to do the oil, you know, dig and get the oil out of the machines, whilst your people don't know when they lie to you. This is exactly what's happening in some of these countries in, you know, Central Africa. Congo, Brazzaville, they have a lot of oil, crude oil. But the French used to get the oil out of the country to their boat, from the whatever you call it, to the boat. And they will write a report on how much oil they took. And the country or the government just had to accept and sign. Because there was nobody from Congo who was trained enough to actually go there with infrastructure and check with the French. Because when you're taking liters of oil, then I need to see how many liters you took. You can't take the liters or whatever, I know it's more than liters, and tell me this is how much I took if I don't even understand the system. You know what I mean? You need somebody to be trained. So when the French are taking, so I can see. So Africa need that because we're dependent. Remember, during this, we were crying, waiting for Europe to send us medicine. We couldn't even look after ourselves. How can we call ourselves independent countries if we don't have the intelligentsia, we don't invest into our people? Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. God bless.